Good day. Ramsey House number 2. We are here. We are 13 people in one home. Ah, two sides of a duplex. Amazing. 6 rooms on each side. What have I learned? Wow, more than I could ever even begin to imagine to tell you all, but I will try and spew as much of it as I can in the next 10 minutes or so. How's that? First thing I would like to talk about, I guess it is things, is ego or egos. I am a big fan of Wayne Dyer and acronyms, for those of you who have listened to any of my videos. And he has an excellent acronym that I enjoy for ego: edging God out. What does that mean? What does that mean? This is the way I've interpreted it through my life. I've had many ups and downs, a lot more ups now. Well, only ups now, but I did have a lot of downs in my previous years, and I made a lot of bad choices, which is good, because this is how we learn. If you don't make bad choices, then you're not doing anything. You're stagnant, and whatever is not growing is dying in our universe. So your ego is what I call, how I interpret it, is it's your self. It's the thing that makes us separate from other people. So when I look at you, if I'm looking through my ego eyes, I see you as a separate entity other than who I am. But if I'm looking, and to finish what I was saying earlier, the way I've interpreted it is the only time that I make bad choices is when I make them. Because that means they come from here and not from here, your heart. Your divine guidance, your intuition is always available. It's always pushing you to do the right thing. And that's coming from your faith-based consciousness. Faith, finding answers in the heart. This is your ego mind. See, your heart's always telling you, this is a good idea. Follow this. Do this. Turn left. Turn right. Don't eat that. Don't drive that. Quit drinking that. But your mind says, nah, forget about it. I think we'll trump this one. And it's always the mind, and it's the ego mind that takes us to those places that we learn those lessons. So they're necessary opposites in the duality of consciousness. But your ego is your learning mind. It's the mind that will elevate your consciousness and take you to the higher levels of consciousness. Because once you eclipse the ego mind and start using the universal mind of consciousness, which is everywhere, all around us, it's right here, it's in everything. And the universal mind is the mind that tells me that I'm the same as you, that we're made of the same stuff, that everything on this planet came from the same place. And I say, and that shifts my consciousness, and it takes me into more of a communal consciousness, as opposed to an ego-minded, self-centered consciousness. We live in a very egocentric society based on competition as opposed to cooperation. And in this world, we live in a survival type consciousness. We're still evolving instead of a thrival consciousness of knowing and just being and living in the infinite that is this planet, and quit treating it finitely and start looking at each other as the same and not different. Because the more people around you that are in alignment with the consciousness that you're involved in, creates a community of loving, caring, wonderful, active, attractive, healthy. I'm not using myself as an example, I'm letting myself go, but that's part of it. Okay, and interesting group of people, which is essentially what we all want to evolve to get to that place where we can be amongst our friends and our peers and always feel at home. It's so funny the way our society is. We spend all of this time in our head constantly worrying about what everybody else is thinking. Oh, I hope they don't think I'm fat. I hope they don't notice my tooth. I hope they don't watch me smoke. I hope they don't see me driving. Whatever it is that you don't want people to see you as, that's how it shows up. It shows up in your life everywhere because we project that. As soon as we don't want something, the universe just gives. It doesn't know the difference between good and bad. So if you ask for something that you don't want, you're going to get it. Because ask and ye shall receive. That's how it works. But if you really want it, then you got to ask. And then you've got to seek. Seek and ye shall find. So you got to get off your assets and get out the damn door and go into the world and find these people, because these conversations are happening everywhere. Every night we have something going on here or somewhere in our community of the Evolver and the Zeitgeist group of friends that we have melding with the occupation and with each other. It's incredible. We get smarter. We have more speakers. We have more events. We learn more about each other. We trust. And the more you show up, the more you're going to learn about yourself and how your life has come to where it is right now. And why? Because our subconscious mind is in charge. Okay, we think that we're in charge. It's not the truth. Your subconscious mind is 90% of what's going on in your head. And it's a tape player. It doesn't think. It's a tape player. It records memories. That's all it does. It takes them in. And when you come into a situation that you need, that memory comes back. What happened the last time somebody asked me for money? I didn't have any. Okay, because where does that, and then there's a root issue, a root cause. Where did that come from? Why does that pop up? I don't have any. Why does that poverty consciousness come out every time? Why is that? I will tell you, because you have to trace it back. Trace it back to its origin. Find out where it came from. It's usually in the first, 99% of the time, it'll be in the first 5 years of your life. It's something that happened while you were with your parents or somebody, and it had something to do with money. You could have been at the fair, and you said, Mommy, I want to go on this ride. And we don't have any money. So that stuck in your consciousness because you have an emotional attachment to that memory. So that memory is now still controlling your life now. So what happens when somebody asks if you have money? You say, money is the least of all of our worries. It's the one thing that we can all do without, and it's the one thing that would shift us into a communal consciousness where we all work universally together on common problems. Money is the thing that needs to go, which is part of what I've been advocating for here since the inception of the occupation and in the 6 years of my enlightening, my awakening, whatever you want to call it, my having fun every day and learning and never holding grudges. Don't use your ego mind. Try and come at everything with an open mind. Have no attachments to the outcome and just let it be. The only time that we have problems around here is when we have attachments to the way things are going to manifest. And if they don't, then we get in the way. It's never the other way around. It's always something that's coming from us. So if something isn't working in your life, have a little time for contemplation. Sit down. All right, I know I'm running along here, but it's just been such an enlivening experience. I love you all. Thank you. Namaste.